Our next review is one, again, that we've both seen. In fact, the next two are ones that we've both seen.
This is such a rarity.
I know, imagine that. You having seen, films at the same time.
B2C films.
Yeah, it's nice having, half term, isn't it? Yeah. So, The Killing of a Sacred Deer, which, do you remember the name of the director for this? Because I don't.
Yeah, Yorgos.
Yeah. I'm literally...
The guy that did The Lobster.
Exactly, the guy that did The Lobster.
I find most people just say that.
Yorgos Lanthimos, I believe is his name. And, so this stars Colin Farrell, stars Nicole Kidman, stars Alicia Silverstone, of all people, Raffi Cassidy from Tomorrowland. She was a little android girl in Tomorrowland. And Barry Keoghan?
Is he George from
George? Yeah, from
it's a war, George. We're going to war.
We're going to war, George. Okay, so this is the story of a surgeon played by Colin Farrell, who in a very bearded, sort of almost panther-like, strong beard, who has sort of befriended a young boy as a sort of mentor figure to a young boy played by Barry Keoghan, and he introduces the young boy who's from a sort of broken home and wants to pursue a career in medicine down the line. He introduces him to his family, the idea being that he can benefit from their domestic life. It will help him in his own life. But the introduction brings with it a chaos to Stephen's own family. So it brings with it an element of blackmail. It brings with it a sort of familial unraveling. It brings with it a deadline that you wouldn't quite see coming. And there's you can't really go too far into the plot of this one without kind of spoiling the hell out of it. It's a very, very unique film, to say the least. And I'll tell you what, here's a clip that's going to set up probably the defining thing about this movie.
What happened?
Everything's absolutely fine. Larry gave him a thorough neurological exam. It's nothing. You two go home, and we'll talk tonight. I won't be late. My schedule today is pretty light, okay?
Maybe you should get an MRI.
There's no need to bother with all that. He just got scared, that's all. He's absolutely fine. You're absolutely fine, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think maybe there was a test at school today that we hadn't prepared for very well.
Yes, you want to spend the day at the hospital with Larry and us. Let's go.
Dad?
Yeah?
Aren't you going to show us an operating theater?
Another time, darling. They need me to prep for surgery right away. I have to go. I'll see you tonight.
Yeah, it's not the most straightforward sounding clip, is it, in sort of execution? But the film is...
I've seen it, I didn't understand that clip.
Exactly. Yeah. So the film is very, very odd. I went through this in three distinct phases. And you're going to have to tell me if you had a similar experience. The first third of this movie, I was trying to get to grips with exactly what it was, what the tone was, what the cadence of it was. The second third, I found the cadence and I quite enjoyed it. The final third, it lost that cadence and it felt the need to go more heavily into its own narrative and conclude its own plot, and I thought it felt very forced. So you tell me, how did it work for you?
Yeah, similar kind of thing.
Similar kind of thing.
Don't know if I split up into three distinct sections or not. I don't think that's the way that I viewed it. I saw it as one complete thing. There's one bit where it is just here's the plot.
Yes, pretty much. In fact,
this is what's there's one interaction.
One character sits down and literally tells another character the plot.
Yeah.
And it's weirdly late in the film as well.
That's about as expositional as we get.
Yes. Wow, okay.
Which, for one thing, that's really bold and really, fair play to it for doing that.
This is the thing, you've seen The Lobster and I haven't. How do you...
Lobsters is more straightforward.
You think it's more straightforward film than this? Okay, that's fair enough.
They share a lot of humour, and you wouldn't think this film has humour. I found parts of it really funny.
There are. It's a very satirical film. It's like a satirical version of a psycho thriller.
I found it funny the way that I find Kill List funny.
Okay. I didn't find Kill List funny, but that's fair enough.
Not that I find people getting messed up by hammers funny.
That's absolutely
there are bits in Kill List where it is absolutely hilarious, where the delivery of some of the lines are really funny.
No, I'll go with that. I still don't know exactly where the sacred deer came into, because I was looking, there were no deer in this movie.
There weren't any sacred ones.
No. Gorgeously shot movie, though. I mean, really brilliant. There's an otherworldly quality to it. There's a sequence with a young boy in a hospital at one point that's shot from a completely God's eye view that's absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's a visually stunning movie. It's a very arresting film. But you will spend an inordinate amount of its time trying to work out whether or not you either A, get what the hell is going on, or B, are enjoying it or interested in it. And that weird tone and cadence that you've heard in that clip, that is all the way through. That is not singular to that one scene. It is that weird, maybe he had a test and we did not know. That sort of deadpan droll sense of humour to it all. And yeah, I mean, it's got no mainstream appeal. There's no mainstream crossover appeal in this whatsoever, I don't think.
Not to say that it has to.
Not that it has to, but I mean, it is kind of the big release this week that isn't written by Agatha Christie.
On screen.